Hello, hello, welcome. I'm Melissa King, certified master health coach and certified personal trainer and proud founder of Wellness Abundance Coaching. Welcome to the very first coffee chat with Coach Melissa. Okay, I got my cup of coffee here. I have my protein powder in it, which I do most every day on my third cup of coffee. So I get my extra protein, my extra collagen to help my hair, skin, nails. So this is, actually I'm gonna take a sip first. It's so good. So during these brand new coffee chats with Coach Melissa, I will be answering all your questions in relation to health and fitness, specifically women's health. It could be hormones, it could be anxiety, it could be depression, any kind of questions that you have. So if I don't know the answer, I love geeking out on this stuff and I love doing the research. So I will go and do the research as best to my ability and help share an answer with you from an expert in the field if I do not know it, if it is not part of my expertise. So for today's first coffee chat with Coach Melissa, I wanted to address just something that I've been experiencing a lot the last year or two since I've entered into my 40s as a woman. I want to talk about really how to take a step back and kind of reevaluate what you're doing, specifically with your health and wellness. So your eating style, your sleep, your fitness, and just kind of go over kind of the steps that I take when I'm looking to step back and reevaluate something. So I do this in my personal life. I do this, with my health and fitness routine, with what I eat, how I sleep, not how I sleep, my sleep routine and my fitness routine. I do this on a regular basis. I do this with my business. This is why I have created Coffee Chat with Coach Melissa, because I felt like something needed to be new, something needed to be refreshed. That sometimes when we feel like something in our life is stale and we're bored frequently with it, I believe that's a sign that maybe you need to step back and evaluate, am I burnt out? And do I just need to take a break and come back to it later? Or do I need to just do a revamp of what I'm doing? Do I need to make some small changes? Just whatever it is. So I want to talk about women entering their 40s, because our 40s as women, this is kind of the beginning. From my understanding too, it could be mid to late 30s as well. But entering your 40s is oh my gosh, I'm in my 40s. There's somewhat of a stigma with, oh my God, I'm 40, and so I know so many women freak out over it. Oh my gosh, this is the beginning of the end. And, within the next decade, I'll be entering menopause and I'm going to start gaining weight and my skin's going to start sagging. Other things are going to start sagging. But that doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So, as I've kind of reevaluated how I live my life since I turned 40 last year, I really kind of thought what's really important to me at this stage in my life. So I used to be into trail races, half marathons and all the competitive stuff. Not professional where I was getting compensated for it, but I loved entering into races, community races, and doing those with my friends. And now, to me, now that I'm in my 40s, it still excites me, but it's not something where I'm I have to do it. I really want to do this. So I kind of shifted into the mindset of, I want to really just, how can I age gracefully? What kind of fitness routine can I do to really help myself age gracefully? Is it entering a race every now and then? Maybe. But what I've learned is that what's really inspiring to me and attractive to me is just going on longer hikes, not having to, kill my body, and not that I was doing that before, because over the last decade, I've really updated my fitness routine to where I've really done it in a way to where I don't work out as hard, but I still get a really great workout in, and I was still able to do endurance runs while not totally wrecking my body and totally wrecking my health. But now my focus is really just to get out in nature more, go on longer hikes again, and just enjoy it and go at my own pace and not be in a rush. And I feel like now that I'm in my 40s, I'm so much more comfortable in my skin, where I'm learning how not to be a people pleaser and learning how to really focus on what I want and speak up for myself and be okay with my decisions. Okay, so quick example. So over Memorial Day weekend, we hiked Halftone. We got Halftone permits, and we didn't go all the way up to the top. The cables part going up the steep ass granite, we did not go all the way to the top because I was not comfortable doing it because I have some wrist issues and my hands get kind of weak. So I was concerned about the holding on to the cables and slipping and falling, and my footwear wasn't quite exactly what it could have been to make that hike up the steep granite super safe, or safer, I should say. So I decided to not go. And honestly, I was okay with that choice. If that would have been like even 5 years ago, I probably would have had a hard time with it, because that's how I was the first time I did Whitney. But I was okay with it. I was like, you know what? It'll always be there. And if I never get to do it again, that's okay. It's not like oh my God, I have to do this to feel complete. So I kind of feel like I'm in that phase, and you could let me know in the comments if you're in your 40s and you've hit this phase, or if you're at 30s, 50s, whatever it is, where you're really just focused on aging gracefully and just really maintaining the healthy body. So that's one thing that I did, is I've updated my fitness routine. I'm not so hardcore anymore. And I've also kind of done more experimenting with my food, because as we age, our hormones are changing, especially, perimenopause, premenopause into menopause. Our hormones are fluctuating, and it could be a challenging time. We have symptoms like, there could be hot flashes, there could be moodiness, there could be, fatigue, there could be irritability, I already said moodiness, but anxiety and depression and all these. It's just because our hormones are going through a different season, they're on this roller coaster. And so I'm really heavy into women's hormones, and right now, and building some programs based on women's hormones and how to really just make some small tweaks to your lifestyle habits to really kind of work with your body's roller coaster of hormones, rather than trying to fight against it. Okay, because when we fight against it, it's like swimming upstream. You can get there, but it's going to take so much longer. But when you kind of go with the flow, it's a lot easier, and you get there almost effortlessly to where you want to go. So that's really what I thought I would focus on. So really, when evaluating my business and kind of making this transition into, yes, I'm still working with, women who have challenges with anxiety and depression, because I feel like that's really important. Mental health is a huge topic that's that's not covered a lot. It's not addressed in a holistic way very often these days. I still feel like there's a lot of progress to be made in the mental health space. And I also feel like women, when you're in your 40s, if you have kids, say you had kids in your late 20s, early 30s, when you're in your 40s, you're at that stage where they're growing up, they're in high school, they're off to college, they're going out on their own. That can cause some anxiety. I've heard some of my clients I have some anxiety over my kid going away to college and having that empty nest syndrome. Maybe even if one kid's still at home or they're both still at home, but really just watching your kids grow up and be independent can cause some anxiety. You don't really know what to do with yourself, what to do with your time. And so I don't have kids, so I don't have experience with that, but I do have nephews and nieces. So I do have siblings who are going through this transition. And I have clients who are going through this transition in life. So I've heard from them. So another thing from just basically a woman in my 40s, it's interesting how like our bodies change as we age. And like sometimes we just accept it, or like I said, we struggle and we fight against it. But what if we just like went with it? And I feel like also really just being firm and just not accepting what conventional wisdom and what conventional medicine thinks that we should do. So I'm not saying that conventional medicine, like going to an MD or anything like that, is bad. Okay, I'm not saying that. I think MDs are very, very important. I do also believe that there's a lot we can do to live how we live our daily life. Are we moving frequently? Are we focusing on eating whole foods that like lots of veggies, fresh meat, fresh seafood, fresh poultry? Are we focusing on eating that stuff? And if you have to take medication like hormone replacement therapy, you work with your doctor on that. But I feel like really focusing on not relying heavily on that is a key component. So I think that's enough for today. So really kind of just saying like, really kind of sitting back and like, what can I do differently? What's working really, really well? What do I definitely want to keep? And then what can I do differently? So I'm reading a great book called The Hormone Cure by Dr. Sarah Gottfried. And this is kind of like the Bible for women's hormones. And I am working on creating a course based on all my research that I am currently doing and am planning to do in the future. And it's all going to be from reputable, experts in the field. So, So with that being said, stay tuned for more info on that. So be sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so already. And be sure to check our channel every Friday, because that's when the coffee chat with me, Coach Melissa, will pop up in your feed, a new episode. And then also drop a question in the comments if you have any questions. And also you can email me, melissa@wellnessabundancecoaching.com. You're welcome to do that. And so I'm super excited about our new coffee chats, and stay tuned. We have some other new exciting things that we're working on to kind of help get more free, valuable content to you. So we're working on some exciting things behind the scenes. I'm super duper excited about them. We're working on filming more fitness videos for Wellness Abundance Club and Fitness Abundance Club. Right now there's 27. We're working on adding 10 more, at least 10 more this month. So that will be in the works. I'm super duper excited about that. So anyways, thanks so much for joining me for the first coffee chat with Coach Melissa, and I'll see you soon. Bye.